We felt it all before. You see the trailer, your heart races. You pre-order, you wait. You count down the days. Then the game drops, and it's not what they promised. It's not even close. This isn't just about a buggy game or a rough launch. This is about something bigger, much bigger. Hype culture. A system that was used to build excitement, community, and drive massive pre-orders and day one sales. But now feels like it's collapsed in on itself. In this video, we're diving into how hype culture took over the gaming space, and how games like No Man's Sky, Anthem, Cyberpunk 2077, and Watch Dogs shattered our trust in the process, and what the future of video game promotion looks like. So, what even is hype culture? It's more than just being excited for a game. It's a manufactured emotion, carefully curated by the developers, publishers, influencers, and marketing teams to build anticipation long before a game is even ready to be judged. You've seen it before. Cinematic trailers, scripted gameplay, dramatic music, and the usual phrases like revolutionary, genre-defining, or the game you've been waiting for. You get developer interviews that are packed with vague buzzwords and promises, but ultimately reveal nothing, while sounding like they're revealing everything. It's marketing that plays on your hopes, not your logic. They are not selling you a product, they are selling you a dream. And it worked, because we wanted to believe. We wanted the next game to be the greatest of all time. And that made us vulnerable, because emotional investment usually outweighs skepticism. And when that promise breaks, it hurts. And we've been burned a lot. Let's start with No Man's Sky. The game I point to is the beginning of the end for hype marketing. When No Man's Sky was first revealed, it looked like the future of gaming. 18 quintillion planets, seamless travel from ground to space, a shared galaxy, infinite exploration. The trailers made it look like you were about to play the most ambitious sci-fi game ever made. But what actually made it in at launch wasn't that. There was no multiplayer, the exploration was repetitive, the gameplay loop felt shallow and unfinished. The scale was technically there, but the substance was completely missing. It didn't just disappoint people, it devastated them. And not just because the game was rough, but because the game was broken. The backlash was brutal. Refund demands, review bombs, a full-blown media storm. Now, to Hello Games' credit, they did turn things around. And No Man's Sky today is an incredible game. But that doesn't undo the damage that launch did to the way that we as consumers view hype. That was the moment a lot of players started asking, can we even trust trailers anymore? But the cracks had already started forming before that. Back in 2012, Watch Dogs gave us one of the most infamous vertical slice betrayals in gaming history. Ubisoft showed off gameplay that looked unbelievable. Dynamic lighting, real-time weather, a living city that reacted to your every move. It looked like the next gen had arrived early. But when the game finally launched in 2014, it wasn't at all what we were promised. The visuals had been downgraded, the AI was less reactive, the immersion was gone. And here's the kicker. Players later found out that the better version, the one from the trailers, was still present in the game files. It had just been disabled. That's when people realized the game studios weren't just failing to deliver, they were managing expectations behind the scenes, silently lowering the bar before launch. Watch Dogs was a decent game, but it was never that game. Then came Anthem. If No Man's Sky had overpromised, Anthem just straight up lied. On paper, Anthem had everything. It was BioWare doing sci-fi, with flying suits, an open world, intense co-op missions, a mysterious narrative. The trailers looked incredible, and the promise was even bigger. But when Anthem actually released, it was a tech demo wearing a looter shooter costume. The flying? That part felt great. That part was real, but everything else was paper thin. The story didn't connect, the missions were repetitive, The loot system was broken, the world was pretty, but completely empty. And the worst part, that gorgeous gameplay demo they showed at E3, it wasn't real. It was a scripted vertical slice with features that didn't even exist in the final product. Behind the scenes, the game had no direction, leadership issues, technical problems, constant reboots of core systems. Anthem didn't just under-deliver. Developers never even had a finished vision for Anthem. And once again, players paid the price. It was another moment when people stopped believing in trailers altogether. And then there was Cyberpunk 2077. This one hurt, because this time we thought we were safe. CD Projekt Red was coming off of The Witcher 3, one of the most acclaimed RPGs, if not games, of all time. They were known for being the good guys. Open, community-focused, and detail-obsessed. They showed us an incredible cyberpunk world. Stylish, massive, dripping with detail. And then the game dropped. And it was a disaster. Broken AI, game-breaking bugs, lifeless NPCs. On consoles, the game barely functioned. Sony actually pulled it from the PlayStation Store. Even the PC version, though much more stable, was missing major features that had been teased for years. And just like Anthem, Cyberpunk had warning signs. Fake demos, controlled reviewer access, embargoes that blocked console footage before release. This wasn't a buggy indie game. This was one of the biggest studios in the world hiding the true state of their product until the last possible second. It didn't just damage CD Projekt Red's reputation. I believe that the fallout from Cyberpunk Red's release was so bad, it permanently ruined consumer confidence in game marketing. And now, it's over. Hype culture still technically exists. Games still have trailers and people do get excited, but it's different. It's a shadow of what it was from 2012 to 2020. Nowadays, even when a game trailer looks amazing, the knee-jerk reaction is not excitement, it's doubt. And honestly, those skeptics are right. We don't just want great games. We want honesty. We want to actually know what we're buying, especially now that AAA games cost $70. The future of hype should be built on cinematic trailers and developer buzzwords. It should be built on reality, on gameplay, on showing and not telling. Thankfully, some games are already doing this right. Hades launched in early access with a clear vision and let players help shape the experience. Deep Rock Galactic built a loyal fan base with consistent updates. Valheim came out of nowhere and chose to let the game speak for itself. These games never manufactured hype, they earned it. And that's the difference. Hype culture isn't dead, but it's on life support. And honestly, that's a good thing. Thanks for watching. If you've been burned by hype, drop your story in the comments. I'll be down there reading.